all public comment will be taken telephonically. So to begin with, I'd like to start with a roll call. Commissioner Ho, are you present?
Present.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Vincent, are you present? Think you might be on mute, Commissioner Vincent. I'll come back to Commissioner Vincent. Commissioner Jefferson, are you present? Commissioner Jimenez, are you present?
Present, yeah.
Thank you. I wonder if it's my connection. Yes, it is. Shoot, hang on.
I can hear you okay, President, just so you know.
Okay, great. All right. Commissioner Vincent, are you present?
You're muted, sir.
You're muted, Commissioner Vincent.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Excellent. I have to leave at 3. So
okay.
If we're at quorum, we could do the action items in an order that would allow me to participate.
Sure. I think if we go quickly, yeah, we'll be done before then.
I'm also present. I'm not sure if my internet clicked off for a second, but I don't know if you got that.
Yes, I did, Commissioner Jimenez.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, no worries. So the last one, Commissioner Jefferson, are you present?
You just joined.
Okay. Asked to unmute. Commissioner Jefferson, can you hear us?
Yes, sorry.
Great. Can you just answer if you're present for the meeting?
Yes, I'm present. Charmaine Jefferson.
Thank you. Okay, so the first order of business is neighborhood council representatives. Do we have any today?
Do they exist?
I think so. So, Scott, are there any neighborhood council representatives?
None. For those who are joining by phone, please press *6 to unmute yourself and *9 to raise your hand, but there are no hands raised at the moment.
Okay, great. So we can go on to the next item, public comment on non-agenda items germane to the business of the commission. Are there any public comment items? I'll take that as a no. Okay, so we'll move on to the next item, which is public comment germane to the agenda items. If so, please raise your hand. I'm not seeing any, so we will then move on to the next item, which is the approval of the minutes. First, we have the approval of the regular meeting minutes, which were June 8th, 2022. Are there any comments from any fellow commissioners?
Move approval.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner Vincent. So we'll do a quick roll call vote. Commissioner Ho, how do you vote?
Yes, approved.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Jimenez?
Yes.
Great. Commissioner Jefferson?
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent?
No. I mean, yes, sorry.
Thank you. And I also vote yes. So the meeting minutes from June 8th have been approved. The next item are the meeting minutes from the special meeting, which we had on June 29th. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Thank you, Commissioner Jefferson. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Vincent. We'll do a quick roll call vote. Commissioner Ho, how do you vote? Commissioner Jimenez?
Yes.
Great, thanks. Commissioner Jefferson?
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. So the approval of the minutes from June 29th are approved. So the next item, I have to read the small paragraph that allows us to continue teleconferencing meetings pursuant to AB 361. recommendations to adopt the findings and determination in accordance with AB 361, Section 3E3, that while the state of emergency due to the COVID-19 pandemic has originally proclaimed by the governor on March 4th, 2020, remains active, and or state or local officials have imposed or recommended measures to promote social distancing. This legislative body has reconsidered the circumstances of the state of emergency, and that the state of emergency continues to directly impact the ability of the members to meet safely in person, and or state or local officials continue to oppose or recommend measures to promote social distancing. So this is an action item. Do we have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Vincent. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Jefferson. So we'll do a quick roll call vote. Commissioner Ho, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Jimenez,
Yes.
Commissioner Jefferson,
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent,
Yes.
and I also vote yes. So the motion has been approved. The next item is a public art project. It's the Chesterfield Square Park project, and I think we might have a neighborhood or a councilman, someone that's a representative from the councilman's office. Is that correct, Felicia?
Yes, it is. Isaiah Benavides.
That's correct. Hi, this is Isaias Benavides with the office of Councilmember Marquis Arizasan. Thank you all so much. And we just wanted to express our strong support for this proposal. We've worked very closly with the Chesterfield Square Community Block Club on it, and they've done an amazing job of making sure the project is done with the support and collaboration of the community every step of the way. And we think what they've come up with is going to really enhance the quality of life at this little pocket park, and just make it an amazing experience for all to enjoy. And so we're really excited for it to come into fruition. And again, just want to express our strong support of it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I think from the Department of Cultural Affairs, we have Pau Pescador,
Yeah,
who
hi
will
there.
be presenting the project. Hi, Pau.
Hi, good afternoon, Commissioner.
Yeah.
So I'm here to introduce this public art project. So this will be the Chesterfield Square Community Block Club mural. It will be located in the Chesterfield Square Park, as stated a second ago, and it is located in Council District 8. The artist is Mel DePaz, and the project has a budget of $2,500, funding coming from Beautify LA. We are asking for conceptual and final approval for this project. This project has already gone through community meetings and has community support. And assuming this project does receive approval today, it will move forward to the Rec and Parks Board for their approval. So I'm the representative speaking on this project today is Carly Ventura, who is a representative of the Chesterfield Square Community Block Club, who will be the one speaking on this project. So I will pass this on to Carly to present. And she's going to need to share a screen because she has the PowerPoint. So Carly, are you able to? Great, perfect.
Yes, does that work?
Yep,
Okay.
awesome.
Can you hear me okay?
Great.
Yes.
Okay. Just 1 second. So yeah, like Pau said, I'm Carly Ventura. I'm a resident of Chesterfield Square and a member of the Community Block Club. I'm joined here by 3 of our other members, Marcel, Regina, and Ashley. And we'd like to present the Chesterfield Square Community Block Club. So here's a quick agenda from Beautify LA to pursue this project. Our purpose is to encourage community engagement, and location, as stated, is West 54th Street. That's between Gramercy and Rebellin. The closest large intersection is Western and Slauson. The park itself is full of green space and a lot of mature shade trees. Historically, the park has been kind of the backdrop to gang and other violence, which continue to the present, but the community surrounding the park is very vibrant. And our hope is that in some small way, this mural can kind of resuscitate the park, uplift a building that's really served mostly a utilitarian function of restrooms into something that brings, positive energy to the park and really shows the community that it can be a welcoming space. So what we did when we launched this project is we distributed a call for mural artists that was distributed very broadly in February of this year. And our community selected a young woman named Mel DePaz. She's a muralist who's worked professionally for about 4 years. She's accomplished 7 murals. Her work and her willingness to incorporate community ideas into her design. She was also a really great fit because, as she stated in her application, she was born and raised in Compton, California, and really felt the culture there was similar to Chesterfield Square. So it was quite natural for her to represent our community through paint. The work itself, which I'll show in more detail or larger images on the next slide, it's a modern realist design. Yeah. Yeah.
The audio, this is Commissioner Vinson. The audio is just going in and out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Carly, maybe you should turn off your camera and see if that makes a difference. You might have a better quality.
Okay. Yeah, is that any better?
I think so.
Yeah, that's better. Thank you, Carly.
Better.
Okay. Did you miss anything? Should I go back a slide or two?
No, I got the gist of it. I was following along.
Okay, all right, great.
It might also help to dial in if the audio continues to drop in and out. So if you need to, you can dial in at 669-900-6833.
Okay, well, just let me know. I'd be happy to do that. This should only be another minute or so. So as I was saying, the work itself is a modern realist design. It brings in some elements of the neighborhood that we have listed here, kind of in colored. We came up with this design by conducting site visits, by discussing themes that were important to our residents. We were looking at the goals of our organization, and then we refined the design by working really closely with Mel to reflect the neighborhood most appropriately. So here are the designs. It's a 4-sided structure, and Mel's vision, as well as our vision, was to create something bright, happy, fun, using eye-catching visual elements to really liven up the park and invite people to come in and take a closer look. And so we wanted to, not just bring people in, but then have them come away with kind of an exciting visual memory of being there. Our community. So at the top, we've used light blue. Blue often is associated with healing or tranquility and understanding and softness. Here, the blue represents the backdrop of LA during the day. And then the second two, the color pink, often is representative of charm and playfulness, etc. And we use this along with the backdrop of LA for this kind of sunset view. We specifically avoided any colors that were associated with gang affiliation. When Mel constructs the mural, she'll use paintbrushes and paint rollers. She'll apply outdoor paint on this concrete structure. And afterwards, we'll apply an anti-graffiti coating. And we'll have some sort of recognition, representative of our timeline. You can follow the numbers kind of left to right. The Rec and Parks is working right now to get this item on the next RAP board facility repair and maintenance task force meeting. That one is scheduled for July 21st, after which it would go to the full RAP board for review. Beautify LA is expecting the project to be completed by the end of August. And I believe we'd have to forfeit the funds if we don't meet that completion date. So things are coming together. It's likely that we'll start purchasing materials, gathering volunteers, et cetera, if approved, towards the latter part of August. We're also planning a mural unveiling and dedication event, very much a public reception. So I'd like to invite each of you on the commission to certainly attend that. It'll be a very welcoming invite for many in the neighborhood to possibly step foot in the park for the first time. $13,000 in total for this event, including the mural. And so we'll be celebrating art, both through the mural. We'll also have an art creation station, which is open to kids, of all ages to really come and paint and create their own art after being inspired upon by the mural. And then we'll also be giving away art supplies and various prizes for participation. We're also going to be part of this mural unveiling will be providing space for some of our community partners. Some of those that have confirmed are listed here. And, these are organizations that really provide pretty vital services for our somewhat underserved community. So thank you. Please give us a follow on social media, RSVP if you'd like to attend our event. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Carly. I'll open up to see if any of the fellow commissioners have any questions or comments. Commissioner Vincent, do you have any questions or comments? Oh, you're muted. Commissioner Vincent, we can't
There
hear.
we go.
There
Can you
we
hear me?
go. Yep, perfect.
We all got muted. I think it's lovely. I think it's very playful and fun and engaging. I think it just adds a lot to the community.
Commissioner Jefferson, do you have any questions or comments? Maybe is she muted?
We all got muted by.
Yeah.
Sorry, I leave myself unmuted, so I didn't realize I got muted. I ditto Commissioner Vincent's comments. My only comment is it may have been said in the presentation, but because even after you took yourself off, you were coming in and out some. So I just want to make sure I understand something. The design has already been approved by the Parks Department?
No, the Parks and Recs is going to, we've submitted our application on June 1st. They are trying to get us on the July 21st task force meeting. And then if approved at that task force meeting, there will be a board meeting to follow that. I looked at the schedule. It's likely that the next one would be August 4th.
Okay, this is just a general comment to the staff for which we can have a conversation around this later on. I'm absolutely in support of approving this particular piece of artwork, and particularly since I understand there was so much input from community about what the art should be and some of what the content ought to be. So therefore it feels like it is reflective of what the community may very well want. I am just generally logistically concerned about projects coming to us for concept and final approval that have notices already going out about public opening dates and everything else, putting every agency that's supposed to put an approval on it in a position of either having to have to say yes or not being able to address the issue, and the parties who are coming before us may or may not be able to address it in time enough for all this public announcement. So there's got to be a way where people are not making public announcements about revelation of something before the approvals have come through. That just is troubling, but not the artwork. This is a logistical issue. I just wanted to bring it up in context. You have my vote.
Thank you, Commissioner
I can make a quick comment on that. We're actually planning to do this event regardless if the mural is done. We're calling it Bike and Art in the Park. You know, we were expecting, if it was not approved, to remove the fact that it says mural dedication. We have a bunch of stuff, you know, time and energy invested in this, with focus on biking as well. And so the plans would be to move forward, you know, not
a problem. I literally was just looking at what was presented. And so when it says there's a mural dedication and all the bodies that need to say yes, in this day and age of skepticism of government, we do not need a situation where people think that they go forward doing stuff before the government has done its process. That's all. It's not you personally.
Thank you, Commissioner Jefferson. Commissioner Jimenez, do you have any comments or questions?
Oh, just that I agree with Commissioner Jefferson on the process. But, you know, commenting on the art, I would say that it is very lively and beautiful, and it really makes the space even more aesthetic. So I appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner Jimenez. Commissioner Ho, do you have any comments or questions?
No comments, other than a question about the cost and the fees for the artists. Your presentation was, the audio was off when you presented that. So I actually missed a whole chunk of your presentation because of the sound. Can you address or just summarize the costs and what's going to the artists, just for a reference?
Yeah, so our Beautify LA grant was for $2,500, and we decided to give that entire amount as a stipend to the artist. We have additional funding coming in for the actual supplies, the paint rollers, all of that kind of stuff, as well as additional support for the anti-graffiti coding. So yeah, the whole $2,500 is going to the artist.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, on that note, I also think it's a beautiful project. I think it's going to really liven up the park, and I think it's really fun. So on that note, I am wondering if we have a motion to approve Chesterfield Square Park for both conceptual and final approval.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Jefferson. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Vincent. So we'll do a quick roll call vote. Commissioner Ho, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Jimenez.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Jefferson.
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent.
Yes.
And I also vote yes. So motion has been approved. Congratulations. And we will look forward to seeing the mural soon.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So then our next item is an architectural submission, and it is an above ground facility. It's the SE Hollywood TD 1-43271. It is both for conceptual and final approval. And Tammy, I think you will probably be presenting this project. Is that correct?
Ashley B will be presenting this project, commissioners.
Okay, great.
Ashley, could you unmute yourself and present this project, please?
Yeah, of course. May I share my screen as well? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. And so good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Ashley B, and I am the SCE project manager. So we're here today to present our above ground facilities request. Can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
Sorry about that. Okay. I'm also going to just turn off my video just in case. And I also wanted to note, first off, the agenda references South La Cienega Boulevard, but the correct address is 868 North La Cienega Boulevard. So Tammy, I don't know if we'll have to work with you after to make that correction. But today we'll be presenting for our new above ground facility request for Willoughby, just east of La Cienega. So this slide shows the general area. This is a mixed use area with commercial in the immediate vicinity, and there are residential properties east of the alley. So as I scan through our slides, this slide shows looking down Willoughby, looking east. And then this one is looking towards La Cienega on Willoughby. And so we're proposing to install a remote control cabinet, a switch cabinet, will be placed on a poured in place concrete pad, which will be directly underneath. And so this request is a new location, which will serve as a tie switch between two of our existing 16 kV circuits. And the purpose of this is to increase circuit reliability and operational flexibility in the area. The circuit will, or the switch will be placed in an existing underground vault, which you can see very faintly in this bottom section on this slide. And as I move to this slide, this shows the details of the RCS cabinet and the dimensions. So the cabinet itself is a 15 1/8 by 20 1/2 and 41 inches tall. And the concrete pad that it will be placed on is 18 by 32 and 8 inches tall. So this just shows the overall dimensions. And again, the cabinet and the pad will be at about 49 inches tall. One thing I wanted to note for our RCS cabinet is that it will be placed in the parkway area as shown here. The cabinet doors will not be facing the street traffic lane. They will open towards the building.
What if I told you that?
And so we're asking for conceptual and final approval for this site. And if you have any questions, I'm able to take those now.
Thank you, Ashley. I'm going to open up the floor. Do any of my fellow commissioners wish to speak on this item?
I have a question. Is there going to be any power outage in the area as a result of installing the new cabinet?
Yes, so part of the scope of work, if I may go to this slide, will be to trench from this, where we'll place the RCS cabinet into the vault. And so that will have an outage to energize that switch.
How many people are affected by that?
I don't have that number off the top of my head, but I can circle back on that and let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other commissioners who wish to speak on this item? Commissioner Ho, no. Commissioner Jefferson, no. Commissioner Jimenez. Okay. Is there a motion to approve this AGF facility, both for conceptual and final? It's SCE Hollywood. I'm not going to read all the numbers. Is there a motion?
I move to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Vincent. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Jimenez. So we'll do a quick roll call vote. Commissioner Jefferson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Ho?
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent?
Yes.
Commissioner Jimenez?
Yes.
And I also, Commissioner Scrofano, vote yes. So this motion has been approved. Thank you very much. The next item is street lighting submission. It's both an action and consent items. There are matching street lights. Item A, which is on 97th Street. Item B on 99th Place. Item C, Victory Boulevard and Clump Avenue. And item D, Mitchell Avenue. So Tammy, are you going to be presenting these?
I can present them.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this one is BR004699. This is a matching street light. They are looking to add 5 CD 851A. So the solid black dots are the proposed locations of the new streetlights, and the existing ones are the hollow ones. So you can see that they are all matching. And this is, so what I've had the applicants do is put the streetlights directly in the application so that we could free up the agenda. So this is what they are proposing, and this is the location where they're proposing it to be. So this is one of them. Second location. Third location, fourth location, and fifth location.
Can I ask you a question while you have it up?
Sure.
I think I'm trying to, I can't tell if it's in this picture or not. So when they take down the wood pole and put up the new pole, the additional light fixtures that are on that pole, will they go back on the pole too?
So this is not to remove this one. This is to add one here. This was not in the scope of the application, so I'm not sure what's happening with this.
So go back to, I think it was the A picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
It says the wooden poles are temporary and they're going to be replaced. So it sounded to me like the new pole that was going to come in, which might be much nicer, would come in. And so the only question was all the extra things that are on there. And I can't tell if it's a light or a ping tower for phones or whatever, whether all the other things are going to go on the pole too.
So because it's not a part of this application, they didn't specify whether all of that equipment is going onto the new streetlight or if they are addressing it in a different way.
Let me ask you a question in a different way. Will this new street light have the ability to accommodate additional equipment hanging off of it?
I would have to reach out to Bureau of Street Lighting to ask that question.
Okay, so Tammy, I have a question too. So you've included in our packet this street light, which is CD 851. Is this the proposed street light for each one of these locations?
Yeah, this one is for this application.
For each one of these. Okay. So it doesn't look like you can put any, I mean, from the photo.
Can you go back to the photo? Can you put up on the screen the photo?
Yeah, the photo so we can all see it, Tammy.
Sure. This one?
No, the one of the pole they want to put up.
The one that's in our packet, Tammy, that I think
Sure.
you provided.
Can you see that on my screen?
It's in the top left corner.
Yeah.
Let me share again. This one?
Yes. So in each one of these locations, it's either, yeah, this one or the 953, which doesn't look like, I know Commissioner Vincent, I was wondering the same thing, like, are they going to add all this stuff to these poles? But it
I mean,
doesn't.
the pole looks nice and it would be fine and it really would be nicer in that residential neighborhood. It's just that it also looks like it's an electrical pole. And so when it says it's going to replace the wooden pole, which makes enormous sense, it's just that, and then what happens? So
right,
if this is all that's going to happen, fine. If the issue is we're going to put this up and then we're going to hang a whole bunch of stuff off of it and say you approved it, then the answer is no.
Is one other question that might get to the bottom of this. Are all street lights electrified underground?
I'm not sure, but I can ask.
I believe they are.
I think they are.
So that the overhead line becomes a whole other issue.
Right, depends on what they are. I mean, I can certainly tell you that on my street, all of the street lights in the front of on our blocks do not have electrical lines, and all the electrical lines run between the houses, behind the houses. So if they're going with that approach, then this is great and delightful. We just need clarity about what's going to happen with the other stuff that's on the pole.
Yeah.
And even, by the way, and this commission has heard me say this in variations on a theme, even on the one that's in front of my house, sometime later on, someone gave approval for them to put one of those telephone boxes on it. And so now it's a box with antennas, and it reflects the light and it bounces in the house. So that's why the question.
So should we pull this item for discussion until we can get some of the answers and then bring it back next month?
I would think so. How does everybody else feel?
I agree.
I agree.
Okay. So I think that's what we should do. And maybe Tammy, you can find out the answers to these questions and let us know.
Sure.
At the next meeting.
Sure.
So city attorney.
And can I just add the 2 cents? I think if there's anything you want to tell them, I think we're leaning in the impression that says, yes, we think this is this is great, but we can't tell whether or not other things are intended for the poll, and that's the problem.
Right. In general, if they are proposing equipment on top of the pole, they should present it as such. So since in the application they didn't do that, I would think that there isn't equipment proposed on the pole, because then it would be materially different than what they're proposing. But I can verify that and get back to you guys about that.
Perfect.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to say that would be good. I have a feeling that there is some rule in the way the government is working where these initial things come to us and we say yes to them one way. And then there's a whole bunch of variations that start happening that are not what gets presented to us. But it gets represented that the initial thing was approved by us, and the changes are not what come back to us. I don't know whether they should or they shouldn't come back to us. So at this point, when I'm asking the question, it's to stave off that particular issue. Nothing would surprise me if there is a way for people to get an initial thing approved and then come back and turn it into whatever they want to.
Well, I mean, we have no enforcement arm, so we can approve something, and I don't know that there is any enforcement to be sure what we've approved is what ends up getting built.
Right. And I understand the commissioner's concerns. And I think that's one of the benefits of having the applicants put the street light, the proposed street light on the application itself, as opposed to just having it on the agenda, which I think historically has been how it's been handled. By having it on the application, you no longer have to have two documents where you're comparing it. Everything is on the same document. When you scroll down, you could see how many they're proposing, what type they're proposing, and what it looks like and where. So it should help, but I understand the concern.
It does. And I thank you for it.
Yeah, thank you.
I really thank you for it.
That was really, really a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a question for the city attorney. If we are scheduling this for the next agenda, or Felicia, do we still take a roll call vote, or we just table this for?
No, President, if you're just moving an agenda item from this meeting to the next, you can just do that as chair without a full vote.
Okay, great. So then we will move this to the next meeting. Thank you, Tammy. Appreciate all your hard work.
I had one question. So now that the applicants have started putting the street lights onto their application, is it okay that we remove it from the agenda? We're just thinking it'll be less cluttered that way.
Tammy, could you repeat your question, please?
About moving the streetlights off of the agenda since it's now present in the application itself.
Understand.
If you want to talk about it at the next meeting, we should still have an agenda item that says, hey, that sort of gives notice that it's going to be discussed. Maybe you don't need as much content, and you and I can talk about that if you want to sort of pare down the agenda a bit.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, happy to work with you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So the next item is staff reports, and then grant administration division. So Felicia, I think you will be giving the staff report. Is that correct?
Oh, there's no staff report today other than Daniel was on vacation, so we wish
there
him
is
well.
a quick grants administration division.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. Thank you, Ben. So do you want to update us?
Yeah, very good afternoon, commissioners. The grants folks just requested just a quick minute in today's agenda just to update the public record with a revised event timeline for a previously recommended Arts Activation Fund project. There's a pop-up event entitled South LA Community Resiliency. This was presented back in the May 11th commission meeting and recommended for a $10,000 arts activation grant. This was originally scheduled to take place on Saturday, June 25th on a newly renovated, beautified public alleyway behind On and Kraken Barbecue in the 9th District along South Central Avenue. We've learned from the event producer that there have been green alley related construction delays, which affect the project location. And those are now slated to be completed before the end of this month. So the planned pop-up event, South LA Community Resiliency, is now scheduled to take place on Saturday, August 20th. And that's all I had to share.
Okay, thank you, Ben. So then the next item is the general manager's report. But since Daniel's on vacation, Felicia, are we?
Yeah, no, there's no.
There's no, okay.
I have nothing to report, but I just wanted to go back to the agenda because it seems like items B, C, and D may not have been addressed in the street lighting, the matching street lights. We just looked at the, did I miss that? We just looked at the street lights, the 5 street lights on 97th Street.
So we just looked at item A and B and we didn't see item C, D,
Correct.
or E, or C
right?
and D, yeah.
Is that right, Tammy?
Right. I can share my screen for the other 2.
While you're trying to share your screen, just a note of congratulations on the opening of the bridge, the design of which over the years has come to us, and not too long ago did we have a park design for the under the bridge is trying to be developed. So one, congratulations, it got a lot of hoopla. And I make a small note that one of the things that got asked for or we discussed in one of the more recent meetings was that when some of these really big events open up that the commission has had some engagement over or approval, just like some of the other city agencies, that the commission and the agency be invited. So I hope the agency at least was invited to that event with all the hoopla, as many times as I saw it run over my television screen, with the private event and then the not so private event and then this kind of event and all the people who worked on it. And the only reason I'm saying this is not because whether or not they thought we as commissioners should be invited, but because I want cultural affairs to get the attention for this work that it does of trying to make sure that the city gets its both beautification and its aesthetic all over the city. And, you know, Parks is there and the department of so-and-so is there. And I want cultural affairs sitting there getting the same accolades as everybody else, because you guys have to spend your time on this work. So this is just me defending you like a mother hen.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And we were there. Daniel was there. I was there. Tammy was there. So, you know, we were represented, and I'll continue to, you know, reinforce your request to have the, you know, commissioners invited to.
As long as you all are there, because no one ever mentions cultural affairs at these kinds of things. And in fact, you guys are working your tails off to make sure that some of this stuff gets out there. So
yeah,
they could celebrate a street light for all I care.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll turn it back to Tammy.
So Tammy, can you continue?
Sure. This is BR 205772. So in this application, there are no relocations or removal. They're requesting 2 CD 953C and 1 CD 851A. And this is the vicinity map.
Is this is street light number C, just to clarify, right? Not B.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to go back to B?
No, it just says attachment B. I just want to make sure we're all looking at item C.
We're here, Victory Boulevard.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
So these are the 3 streetlights that are being proposed over here, and the existing one right here, you could see, sorry, it's a little small. Let me pull it up a little more. This one, which is these 2 right here, are the ones that they're proposing on the same street. As it turns a corner, it changes and is CD 851A. So different streets require, based on their classification, require different types of street light, and this affects their height and the way they look. So this is the proposal. And this is the photo key map. And this is a digital cone of where they want to put it. So this is 1A. B, and C. This one is the one that's different from the other 2.
Okay. So do you want to present the next one and then we can take the item C and D as one vote?
Sure. This
they-
one is BR 403124. This application is requesting 1 relocation and 1 new pole. So attachment B shows a site map. The proposed one is right here on the corner. The one that they're requesting to relocate is here. And the existing ones which match the proposed is this one right here and this one right here. So on the same block, they'll all be the same streetlights. So this is one of them. There's another one. So this one. Oh yeah, those are the 2. Do any of the commissioners have any questions or comments?
Do we feel like we could take a vote on these items, fellow commissioners? If we, there are a motion to approve item C and Victory Boulevard and item D on Mitchell Avenue. If there's no questions.
I moved. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Vincent. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Jefferson. We'll do a quick roll call vote. Commissioner Ho, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Jimenez.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Jefferson.
Yes.
Commissioner Vincent.
Yes.
And I also vote yes. So these 2 items are approved. So now I think we're moving on to the last item, commission announcements and reports. The next commission meeting will be August 10th. Are there any other announcements from any fellow commissioners?
I have a question really quick. I wanted to follow up on a mural that we approved about a month and a half ago. Who at the department is the best person to get in touch with because they want to actually do another mural, and they're running low on funding. They have a lot of support from the council office.
If you can have them send an email to our public art division, let me get the email address, because different staff is responding to that email address. Our murals person, Yami Duarte, is home delivering a baby. So we're having to sort of parse out her work. So if
could you give me one other actual name rather than just a general email?
Yeah, you could email Ligeia Gorey, Ligeia Gorre.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements or questions? So then the next commission meeting submission date for architectural, public art, and streetlights will be July 20th, 2022. And I think that concludes it for today's meeting. So I think we can adjourn. If that works for everyone, I'll hit my little gavel. Go ahead, Commissioner Vincent.
Just well done.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye. Great job.